how to check your listing's okay before you make changes to it. With these Etsy suggested titles, you want to check a few things before you make any changes. We want to science this a little bit better, and we want to know that what we're about to do is not going to make some massive detrimental impacts. So for those of you who don't know, Etsy's rolling out new title suggestions for your listings. I only have this on my phone. I've got a glimpse at it. I haven't got it on desktop yet, so it's not rolled out to everybody. But people are freaking out because on your dashboard, Etsy's now warning you that some titles need adjusted, and then takes you to the tool where it gives you some AI suggestions. Now, before we go into what I'm going to show you, I do want to give some warnings. I have had I've had a number of people tell me they accidentally hit the button, changed all their titles by mistake. And I've had people tell me their listings absolutely tanked, their views dropped, sales dropped, and when they check, they're not ranking on Etsy anymore. I've had other people say things improved and everything's looking great after they made the changes. This is the problem. We can't really tell. First of all, we don't know how good or bad your titles were before. If you have some really, really well optimized titles that are doing really great and you go and change them, then what's going to happen? The AI suggested is probably not as well optimized as your work was, because it's not. I've also heard and seen some terrible recommendations. Etsy's offering, the AI has offered characters that are disallowed on Etsy. It's offered words that are banned on Etsy that get your listing taken down, and trademark terms. So it is definitely not optimized for Etsy. So, yeah, before using any AI tool, always be ready to double check its work, use it as a suggestion. But before we make any changes at all, you want to check some things. So, people asked me how I was checking where we were ranking on Etsy and all sorts of things. So, I'm going to show you some tools, first of all, to help you know what's working before you change your listings. And then I'm going to show you a fun new tool I've been playing around with. But firstly, let's get into it. So first things first, we want to check what's working just now. Now I'm going to use eRank. I also work for eRank, but these videos are my own. I'm using eRank because I use eRank. So the first thing I want to do, if you have connected up your Etsy shop to Google Analytics, which I totally recommend you do if you haven't, and then you've connected that to eRank, then we're able to go and see those keywords that are driving traffic nice and easy. Now, the best way to get to this for a listing, if we come into eRank under listing optimization, go to listing audits and find your listing that Etsy's given the recommendation for the title for, and then hit this traffic stats button. It is going to take you to this page where you will see the keywords that were working for you. So this I've just put down to the last 15 months. You can pick time periods here, 30 days, 7 days, depends on the amount of traffic you have, to be perfectly honest. So if you're not getting a whole lot of traffic, you might not see much data here. This is kind of sadly normal. So pull up a date range that gives you enough data so you can see, and have a look at these keywords that are working for you. And the good thing I like about this is also at a glance you can see, do you have these keywords in your titles and tags? So it's possible that for especially these first few, these top ones, I'm getting found because I have this keyword in my title and tags. So especially running up to the busy period, I probably don't want to remove any of these keywords, no matter what Etsy says. Certain other things, like I'm going to be seen for my shop name because that's a very low competition thing. So we're looking at some of the other things here. Some things are kind of irrelevant, and now we're getting into things that haven't got many visits. So you're looking at your top terms are probably the most important there. If you're running Etsy ads, you can also get the keywords for that listing from your Etsy ads as well, which is very helpful as well. Etsy ads have a slightly different algorithm, but it's good to know these keywords were also working in your ads. So make a note of all these. If you click on the star button beside them, you can save these to a keyword list. So this means that eRank saves them all in the list for you, or you can write them down the old-fashioned way. But you can save all the keywords that were working, remember them, and don't take these out of your title and tags, no matter what Etsy's telling you. I just nearly forgot, want to cover another thing. We've got two camps. One going, I have to change these because Etsy's telling me, and if I don't, then my rankings will drop. And then there's another camp saying, but you can't touch them because that will reset the algorithm for 3 months. That is also not true. Like, if you remove keywords, what have I got in this title? So I've got best holiday gift. I've got nothing. That was a test I did, and we're coming up to the holiday, so I'm going to leave it just in case. But, I'm not getting found for best holiday gift. Yeah, I've already got gift in there. So if I removed that, then it probably wouldn't make a blind bit of difference to my listing. It's not like the algorithm goes, oh no, there's been a slight change. I've suddenly forgot everything I ever knew about this listing. It's only if I removed all the words related to corgi and bookmarks from this listing, then would be into a problem. But if I make a change for something that's not helping the listing in any way, it's not going to suddenly reset. So the reason myself and a lot of the people I work with, we talk about not changing your best performing listing. That's because, well, it's your best performing listing, and you might be changing, people might change things that they're not sure what they're doing, and they might take out important keywords. But it's not the end of the world. Like, you can add a comma or change a spelling mistake if something's gone wrong, and it's not going to crash your listing. Anyway, okay, so we've found these most important keywords. Another thing to do, you can, with your tags or keywords you are aiming for, eRank also has a tool, it's called the rank checker. So you go keyword research and rank checker. I've already run this. It takes a little minute because it's going into the Etsy API and searching for you. So what you do, you type in the keyword you want. Already populated will be your shop name, and then you either pick the country that you're in, and that'll compare you against everyone in your country, or any country, and that's like beast mode. And then you hit analyze. And what that's going to do is eRank then goes to the Etsy API. So this is showing directly where you're ranking on Etsy before the personalizations happen. So every individual person who searches for something on Etsy, the search page will be a little tailored to them, but it's tailored based on that initial ranking. It's just like a little tweak on top of it. So if you find out where you're ranking, then that gives an idea on average where you're going to be seen by the average shopper. So you search and then get a nice little thing here to be able to look and see, are people searching for this keyword? Yes, but not a lot. Dog bookmark, yeah, it was good last September, so might be good this year. Who knows? It's getting a few searches, and I'm happy. If I'm top of the heap, I might get some of those searches. I'm good with that. And you can see the competition here. So the first bit, this shop listing, is showing where I am ranking for this keyword. So you can see for dog bookmark, I am ranking. I'd prefer a little bit higher. So I will be doing some work on that coming in the next few weeks. But anyway, so there we can see what's going on here. And then you can see the top listings that are ranking for this keyword as well. But I've searched and I see that I am ranking for this keyword. So you can go through and do other keywords that you have as well and just check, are you ranking for them? So if I was for some reason going to go into my listing and take out the word, rearrange the word dog bookmark, maybe it was going to be corgi bookmark dog lover's gift. If I changed it to that, I could come back Give it a little while to settle down, usually about 15 minutes or so. Search and see, has the ranking changed at all? So that's a handy way to see what's going on there. But of course, you don't want to do every single thing. So all those keywords that you found that were handy for you, you found were important for that listing. Another tool you can use, which is the eRank's Spotted on Etsy. Another one that I absolutely love. Right, where is this one? Shop Insights Spotted on Etsy. And what this does, you pop in these keywords that are important to you, the ones that you found, you pop them in and hit monitor, and this basically does a rank check once per day. In the middle of the night, it goes, searches the API for all the keywords that you've put in for all of your listings and lets you know if it's found them ranking on the first couple of pages on Etsy, which is already great. But it's also got, because eRank's got this massive database of other keywords that other people have put in, it also searches for these other keywords just as a wee freebie. So even if you have a free account where you can only put in less keywords, it's still worth doing it because you get the bonus of everybody else's keywords anyway. And I do just want to point out something here. Because eRank is concerned about people changing all of their listings, they're concerned about what's going to happen after Etsy bringing out this statement. And my friends over at eRank have actually asked Etsy for some confirmation of what's happening with these new title guidelines, what's happened to the algorithm. Hopefully we'll get some sensible replies back, something good from Etsy in the next week or so, fingers crossed. But because eRank is concerned, they decided to offer a little thing. So for free accounts, you used to be able to monitor one keyword. We've increased that to 5 keywords. And for pro and expert accounts, it's gone up by 5. So you can look at 5 more keywords just to help you out, and that'll be in place till the end of the year, just so you can track some more keywords. Now what this is doing, you've got this little graph that's showing your ranking over time, so you can see if you're increasing, decreasing. So people are freaking out when Etsy said this thing, are my rankings dropping off a cliff? Has something terrible happened? So you can look and see. Now it's kind of you've got to bear in mind there might be reasons for dips and falls, because you can see here, like if you're just looking at this point in my listing, you might look and go, oh no, it's really dropping in ranking, it's gone from 10 to 60, but it wasn't ranking at all, and then it suddenly started ranking and dropped away. Things happen. You might have had a sale, you might have had a load of views, someone may have spoke about you on social media, driven a lot of traffic that you suddenly might be ranking a bit for. So you can see little changes like this. So you want to look over time, like, are you still ranking for your most important keywords? You can see this drop away because I had a sale just before then of this listing. So it boosted the rankings, and it's nice and slowly just dropping away over time. Other things to look at, you might look at a step change and go, the algorithm's changed. The algorithm has absolutely changed there. It hasn't. I'll show you what's happened here, and it's very simple. It was being found for this custom dog sculpture. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know why this listing might have reached the end of its run and been renewed, which gives it a little boost in search as well. But what happened here was this listing increased in ranking. It suddenly started ranking, and when it did that, just because not everything can be on the front page of Etsy search, they drop other things down. So this listing just dropped down the rankings temporarily while this one's getting its place in the sun. So don't look and go, oh no, there's been a step change in the algorithm. It could be something to do with your listings, could be something to do with your competitors. But if you looked and saw everything was going down, I mean, look, some of these are going up. If you looked and saw every single thing was going down, you might worry, but I can see some things are going up, some things are going all over the place, some are absolutely flat. So that sort of tells me there's nothing for my listings, there's nothing major in the algorithm changed, so I don't need to massively panic about what Etsy's done with my title, with my listing, yeah, with my listing titles. I don't believe something massive has changed. Um, yes, you can look at your views and your sales and everything as well, but they do seem to be very variable. Every day, week, month, people are coming on and going, my sales have dropped, my sales have increased. So it's hard to tell. So just checking where you're ranking, getting a hold of your keywords, making sure nothing you're changing is causing a big deal. But for funsies, something I promised, I thought I would get the AI to check the AI. A friend of mine just got me onto AI agents, which are programmable things. Now, don't switch off. This is actually much easier than it sounds. And yeah, I'll share with you my agents or what I've done so far if you want to do this yourself. But I thought it'd be a bit of fun to ask the AI what it thinks of the AI. And all the steps I've just told you here are really kind of complicated, sort of. Um, not well, they're time consuming. So what an agent does is you can teach an agent to go away and do all these steps. So go check all my tags in the listing, find out if they're ranking, go in and find out the where the traffic's coming from, what Google's telling me are good keywords, check go go in and check how much search volume there are for those listings, all sorts of things. So I did this. I made I made an AI agent. So I'll just quickly explain. You just explain what you want it to do, but with this it can go to pages, it can search the internet and do things on the internet. So I just tell it to log in to eRank. I'm not going to show you all these steps because it takes a really long time because it's going in, loading steps, doing everything in real time. But you can tell it to go to a page. If it needs a sign in and stuff, all that happens when that sign in box pops up, it just pauses and it lets you take over. You type in your credentials, you type in your login, and then hit resume, and then it takes over again. So I'm telling it to go to these pages, enter these kind of things. So, oh, I nearly forgot this. Yeah. So I tell it my listing ID. I tell it what Etsy has suggested the change to be. And then I tell it, go to eRank, learn what you can about my listing, remember the title, remember the tags, and then go to the rank checker, check all of that, go through all of this. Now, okay, like I said, I'm not going to show you all of that because it's incredibly boring, but I asked it to do all of that and then come back and tell me, compare the title of my listing with what Etsy's offering and show me some more data. So quite cool, I think. It came back. Now it actually said that I also programmed it in to go and look at all the articles on Etsy that are relevant and read them and understand them. So we have my current title is a grade C. And what I like about this that Etsy doesn't do is it's telling us what's good about it. It identifies the product with some terms. What's bad? It repeats cat bookmark quite a lot. It does. And aspirational gift phrases that may not all be necessary. And then here, what's good about the suggested title? It gives us some ideas of if you use this title, it removes these terms which might get you lost for these things. And yeah, I like that. Gives us some alternate title suggestions, and it's honest enough to say what it's done wrong. Here's good, here's bad. It's giving you some more options, so I really like that. And then, so all my tags, I just sent it to find out if I'm ranking for any of my tags and remember all the data there. So it made me a little table, and went in to the traffic stats, pulled up all the visits I'm getting from keywords. So it was able to tie all of that together. Okay, so, but I made a simpler agent so we can, I hope this works. So I just did a simple one. So there's my current title, a suggested title. Look at these articles. Here's what I want you to tell me. So this is, you just, in reasonably chatty language, you explain what you want it to do. So I'm just going to copy this, take it to here. Now, if you're not in agent mode, you just click this to get to agent mode. I'm afraid this is only for paid versions of ChatGPT. I actually only just paid to use this tool, but I just thought it was so fun. So if I paste this in, so you could just type it in, just type in what you're wanting, tell it where it's got to go and everything, and hit enter. And hopefully this works nicely. So what it does, this is really scary. What I like about this, actually, while it's doing the things, it's telling you why it's doing things. And the first time I tried this, because then you can go back and change, if you see anything went wrong, you can change your prompts, change what you're telling it based on what you were seeing, what it struggled with. The first time I did this, I told it to go to eRank and do a thing, and I wasn't clear enough, and it didn't know how to go, where to go. So it went and found the help files, read the help files to teach it how to do the thing. Anyway, so here it's going, finding all the articles that I told it to look for, and it's finding some more that I didn't I didn't tell it to search for, but it always does more than you think. Here at reading mode, this is really crazy. It's going through the articles that I told it to. I've given it my new, so yeah, if you're going to use this, I'll just I will link, that was just a Canva document. So I'll just link a read-only version so you can copy it, change, put in your title and the suggested title, and ask it what it thinks. Well, just cut and paste it in, and it'll do this. So the good thing about this is it's going and it's reading these documents, these articles from Etsy sort of live. So if there's any changes, any updates, it'll find them from there. So it's evaluating the new guidelines. As I say, this takes a bit of time, so you could go off into a new page, do something different, and I think you can see if I'm sending it to rank check 20 different tags and find loads of things on eRank, it does take a bit of time. So go to another tab, do something else, or go go get a cup of coffee, let it do all this work so you don't have to. I was actually quite amazed at how cool yeah, how cool it is. I surprisingly like this. I know a lot of people are against AI, and I get that as well, but I sort of feel this is in my opinion, a good use of AI. Not necessarily getting it to read articles, that's probably not the best use, but getting it to do repetitive tasks that you do a lot. So if you wanted to check all your tags on something, you can get it to do that. Oh, there we go. So it took 3 minutes. It tells you how long. So it's done a little review of what it thinks the best practices and stuff. And then here, again, I think I still put the same title in. So it's seeing pretty much the same things, but it gives my title a grade C, Etsy's title a grade B, but still doesn't like some of it. Now this time I didn't have it find all the tags and everything. So this isn't based on what's working in my listing. It's just given, just saying, what am I going to lose here? So removing these terms could be an issue. So it's just giving you some ideas and some new title ideas. And yeah, it does seem a little better than Etsy at not throwing out trademark terms or stuff, but it's not perfect. So you pick what you like best and edit it, or just leave your title as it was if it was working. But yeah. So I put this in at the end as a fun little difference. Let me know what you think. I know most people won't be into something like that, but I've been enjoying it. So I'll leave links to my articles. But Yeah, don't change things without checking. Make sure you know why you're changing things, and please don't just blindly hit the button to change all of your listings on the AI suggestions. Okay, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.